Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Gonna give it just maybe another minute here while folks continue to roll in, and we'll get rocking. It's our magic number today, Austin.
Oh man, I was gonna say 75. We just jumped past it, so
They're blowing through it.
maybe 85.
Okay. Oh, we gotta slow down. Let's go with 80.
Sounds good.
All right. There we go. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our October 2025 partner update session. Can't believe it's October. Last month of SonicWall's Q3. Halloween decorations going up. I know my kids are ready, so we'll get in. We have a pretty packed agenda today. As always, joined by Austin Fanning, our Global Inside Sales Director. Big brother JT Fanning was supposed to join today too, but he's MIA today. He might pop in and can help us answer any technical questions that come in. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. Whatever we can get to, we will. Otherwise, we'll follow up after. Also, expect an email follow up. We'll get this session uploaded into our YouTube channel, and you guys can come back and reference that at any point. So, agenda today. Going to talk about some updates, some new releases, promotions, just the business items that you guys need to have, front and center as we're getting ready to close out, what is our Q3, obviously the first part of Q4 for a lot of y'all. And then we're going to be joined by a very special guest, SonicWall's SLED and ERATE consultant, Holly Davis, who's the founder and CEO of Complement Consulting. Wanted to share some updates around the 2026 E-rate overview, get some insights and updates from USAC, some proven tips and tricks, learn strategies that are going to help you maximize your success and secure more funding, in 2026. And then, just some key takeaways, powering up with SonicWall, how we can help support you in your K-12 and E-rate business, right? We're continuing to invest in this area, and it's such an important part of business for SonicWall. We've historically done so well in K through 12 and E-rate, and I think there's an opportunity for us to arm you all and allow you to, win more business through the E-rate program. So, jumping in, Austin's gonna kind of tag team this with me. A few things going on with SonicWall right now. We just asked what was the last 1 year last order date for the Gen 6 and 6.5 hardware appliances. That was September 30th. So now we're in that kind of last year before we go into support on those devices. We've launched Gen 8, which we'll cover quickly here. Really big. I think we had the latest inventory stocking on the TZ580s, for example. So we're pretty much rocking and rolling, ready to go with Gen 8 now. If you didn't know about this, wanted to talk through it here, maybe some questions around this. There is a price increase coming on October 15th, and this is going to affect our Gen 7 firewall bundles, APSS and NSM bundles, as well as the service provider program, which I don't think we've taken a price increase in for multiple years. So some of the macroeconomic factors, some of the things, from a supply chain perspective impact this. Just want to make sure you're aware of that, especially with, many of you having devices that are into support. You're trying to decide, okay, what do I do? Do we, maybe we missed the renewal opportunity. We could leverage Sonic Protect. Is it time to upgrade? Do we go Gen 8? Do we go Gen 7? All really good questions, right? And what I'd ultimately say is, contact us directly. You'll have our contact info, contact your account manager, and we can talk through the different scenarios, right? That we can, put a plan together for you. One thing that's real important, and Austin will talk about this a little more in detail, we understand that sometimes, price increases here, I can't renew it anymore. I'm not so sure I want to go with a 3-year bundle. Just, maybe there's budgetary constraints around that. An opportunity to leverage a new bundle, a 1-year total secure that we kept safe from the price increase, right? So it's an outlet valve for you. And we'll talk about that in more detail here coming up. The other big topic that we've been helping folks navigate around is as we announce the end of life for the SMA 100 series and the conversation around, okay, well, what do we do? Do we move to cloud secure edge, modernize our remote access? Are we going to move to, firewall SSL VPN? We've made some concessions. You guys know this. If you're unaware and you have these appliances, we can connect with you and point you in the right direction where we can get you some licenses, either for firewall, but more preferably 1.5 times the license count you have on your SMA free for cloud secure edge, and help you through that process to make that migration. It's something we're all going to have to do here at some point, right? As SSL VPN continues to be, deprioritized and more folks are moving off of it, which we encourage. The one thing that Austin wanted to call out is we've heard from you. We understand some of the challenges around the timing on this, and just know that there's going to be more updates coming on, how to navigate that 10/31 date. The last thing we want to do is put you in a position where you're not going to, have a solution, right, that we can be managing remote access for your customers. So if you have specific questions, definitely hit us up and we'll schedule some time and we can work through those. The final piece, manage protection security suite. So as we've moved away from some older license bundles, trying to simplify things with APSS, the Advanced Protection Security Suite, and MPSS. You really have an option when you your firewalls. It's either, am I going to manage this, right? And I have NSM embedded into that APSS bundle, or do we want SonicWall's NOC team to stand behind us and help manage these firewalls? And there's a whole slew of reasons why you would or why you wouldn't. And those are conversations we'd love to have with you. What I will say, some big enhancements in the last couple of weeks where we had some constraints in my SonicWall having MPSS firewalls and non-MPSS firewalls in the same tenant, causing some challenges. We got those fixed. So now you have the ability to pick and choose. Maybe it's not across the board where you're leveraging the managed offering. Maybe it's for select customers or areas where you need to build a bridge or kind of stagger out how we're going to roll that out. We can have non-MPSS and MPSS firewalls in the same tenant. So that was a big step forward. Austin, you want to talk a little bit about the 1 year option?
Couple questions coming in, and I think it's good just to kind of clarify on a couple points. So if you could jump back to the previous one. So just want to reiterate, for our service provider partners, that price increase will be in the November billing, so it won't be in October. So there's technically it's till the end of the snapshot happens on the 25th, 26th of November. So it's essentially close to 60 days or getting close there before that price increase happens on the service provider front. That's that monthly billing options that some partners take advantage of. There was a question around 3 and free, if 3 and free will be impacted. Gen 7 3 and free with APSS will be impacted. That's a pretty common bundle that many partners use. MPSS, our new Managed Protection Security Suite, will not be impacted by the change. So if you're looking at evaluating MPSS, that will not receive an increase. But Gen 7 APSS 3-year will receive a slight increase there. Adam, I'm getting you an answer to your second question. That's why we need the Brainiac on a call for questions like those ones about RDP. So I'll get you an answer here in just a bit. John, I think you had a question about just the timeline with the SMA transition, and Matt was kind of touching on it. We'll just reiterate. We understand that that's a tight timeline. So work with us directly, work with your account manager. It is not our intention to leave you high and dry. We want to work with you on a plan that's going to help you make that migration and what makes the most sense for your customer as well as your business, depending. So just reach out. Happy to talk with you directly and make sure that we're doing what we can. Obviously, it's a tough situation for all parties, but we want to help you through however we can. So happy to talk through that together. And then Lydia, I'm not sure if I fully understand the question. You're talking about MPSS conversion. MPSS is absolutely live right now. There was a slight my SonicWall related challenge around multi-tenancy and registering new MPSS devices. That was actually resolved last week. So I encourage you, if you've had some challenges with MPSS, either reach out to Matt and I directly or reach out to your account manager. We've resolved the majority of those. And again, they're more around the registration piece of it. Other than that, I haven't heard any issues. So happy to connect offline, Lydia, if there's something more detailed we can get into together.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And then that's a great segue to the 1 year bundle. So again, we understand the position a lot of these customers are in as they reach the end of life on that Gen 6 and 6.5 product. And sometimes that 3 year price tag is a little hard to stomach. So that's what this is really designed for. So this is essentially a 1 year offering on Gen 7 product. It is not subject to that increase that we were talking about on the previous slide. It's essentially 25% off the total secure price. If you're not familiar with total secure, that's kind of like your net new for new customers, new deployments. This will be a secure upgrade for friendly upgrades only. So just want to reiterate, this is only going to be for Gen 6 to Gen 7 upgrades, Gen 6.5 to 7 upgrades. You can't use this in competitive scenarios just because of the margins that we put on it. These SKUs are live at distribution. If you can't get them at Disty for whatever reason, make sure you're requesting a drop ship. Sometimes they have a little bit of a backlog on that, or work with your account manager. The other caveat to this is there's going to be no downgrades. So we do need to kind of maintain that like for like from a model perspective. You can see on the right-hand side, there's a little box there to help you navigate what what's considered an eligible replacement for this promo. So hopefully this helps have those conversations when you have those stubborn customers that just absolutely don't want to switch off, and happy to get involved in those and help sell on the value of upgrading. But this 1 year secure upgrade offering is a great option for them.
Awesome. We talked about the rollout and launch of our Gen 8 platform. 580s in stock now. I know we got the shipment there, all the way up through the 4800 and 5800s. And then we're going to continue, on the higher end as we move into the back part of this year, early next year for the higher end models. Big thing to call out here. Everyone knows this. Any Gen 7 firewall or newer sold after November 1st of last year comes with a $100,000 SiAssurance warranty embedded in that, so long as you're meeting the best practices configuration guide, right? The MPSS conversation, the managed firewall, having our NOC team stand behind you and kind of offload the, sometimes tedious tasks of firmware updates, patching, change requests. Maybe it's situations where you're down, a resource or two, and you're looking for a way to achieve some scale. It's where we're seeing folks really be able to take advantage of MPSS. From a value perspective, not only are we standing behind you and helping to, manage that firewall, it's also going to double that SiAssurance warranty to $200K per firewall. I see a question coming in looking for the best practices guides. We'll drop those in the chat here as we move through the session. It's a good resource at our SiAssurance microsite that we have built. A lot of resources there, and certainly if there's any specific questions, we can take those for you. So moving ahead, MPSS, we talked about what it is. It's a conversation that Austin and I, when we first rolled this out, some varying, opinions on where it was going to fit with our partner base. And what's cool is we've seen, almost every situation present itself where, in some cases we thought we might be stepping on our MSP's toes out of the gate. But what we found is what we're able to deliver, and from a resource perspective, when you start crunching the numbers on it, oftentimes the economics is going to flip back in your favor, especially with the added value around the cyber warranty, what it's going to unlock from the SiAssurance program and access for you and your customers to discounted cyber insurance. It's been a really nice rollout here, and we expect this to continue. So certainly going to have a lot of questions around that, and definitely welcome those. Current
Couple coming
promotions.
in
Yep.
here, Matt. So question around where do I find the best practices? I'll post those in just a second here. Question around from Dan about, kind of expediency. If you need to make a quick change, you absolutely can jump in and manage those firewalls as you need to manually. But the hope is that, using the team, using the ticketing system that's tied to MPSS, that can offload a lot of that as well for you. So it's kind of, your choice, but you can absolutely get in there if you need to on like a as needed basis. Question from Mario: what if the Gen 7 firewalls were purchased before the November date and it's time to renew licenses? We kind of had to draw a line in the sand when it came to that cyber warranty, just from how insurance situations kind of go. But we are able to, if it's going towards MPSS, so using that kind of more robust security offering, look at the cyber warranty, and so we're evaluating that. As of right now, if they are just renewing, it won't be eligible if they're just going like APSS to APSS if it was purchased before November. And then Charles, I read that you can, but it may void the insurance by not meeting best practices. Yes, technically, yeah. If you make a change that's not within the best practices, Charles, that is correct, right? So again, you want to make sure you're adhering to those best practices at all times so you can take advantage of the cyber warranty. Absolutely.
Very cool. The heat wave promo continues, right? I want everyone to refresh their memory on this, Austin. We got this extended to the 31st of October to help with those upgrade scenarios, especially with the end of sale going on the older devices and MPSS and all the options that we have here. Why don't you talk about this promo real quick?
Yeah, Heatwave promo is a pretty cool one. It's kind of not the first time we did it because we did it last quarter, but we kept it going since there was a lot of interest and a lot of partners taking advantage of this. So this is essentially a flat rebate per firewall sold and registered. So it has to be sold within the current quarter after 8/18. So back in August, that's when it kind of kicked off. And we did extend it out 1 week. So it expires at the end of the month. So that's the sell window. And then because we're trying to kind of increase velocity with this, it also needs to be registered before November 14th. So that's kind of the caveat to how you get into it. There's a submission process, which I can attach to the follow-up email to this. But long story short, for every, let's say, TZ80 that you sell and register before that cutoff window, you're going to get a $100 rebate in our normal rebate process. So pretty cool. It's really easy to understand, really easy for you to kind of make sure the balance sheet is making sense. It's eligible for Gen 7, 3 and free, as well as MPSS, and it's Gen 8 MPSS only, so no APSS on the Gen 8 product. One little caveat, and I don't necessarily think this was super clear on the initial flyer that went out for this, you must register and submit before that November 14th deadline. I want to be super clear on that. We had a little bit of confusion in the last run of the heat wave where people were kind of coming in after the deadline with accounting and everything, trying to make sure that the rebates get out on time. We have to adhere to that strict deadline. So if you haven't quite hit that email send by end of day, November 14th, make sure you get that in so you can get your rebates. In addition to that, we got the EPSS to MPSS upgrade. So if you are someone who still has customers or you yourself have EPSS licenses and are interested in MPSS as an offering, we're giving 25% off the annual MPSS SKUs when you move over from EPSS. Or if you're looking to move towards a monthly billing option, we're going to give you 60 days free after your first month billing on a MPSS device. So pretty exciting, easy way to start to evaluate MPSS. If that wasn't good enough, we're still giving away free TZ80 firewalls. So if you're not in the service provider program, we'd happy to give you a TZ80 with 3 months free MPSS service on it. So we always kind of say first 25 on the call. I don't know if we ever quite go over that number, so definitely reach out to us, service provider onboarding at SonicWall.com. If you're not in the service provider program already, we'll get you that free firewall.
Austin comes bearing gifts. I love it. Good update there. This is when I'd like to, kind of amp this session up a little bit, what I think a lot of you are here for, and bring Miss Holly Davis into the conversation. As I mentioned, Holly's been our SLED and E-rate consultant for as long as I can remember. I'm 7 years in at SonicWall now, and have had the chance to work with Holly in a couple different capacities. And when she mentioned, wanting to get in front of our partner base here and share some updates, it was a no-brainer. So Holly, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me here on y'all's call today. And hi to everyone out there. A lot of the partners, I know y'all know me, and I've worked with y'all in supporting you in a lot of your E-rate business with SonicWall. So I thought today would be great to go ahead and give y'all a great update and share with y'all some more information about what's going on. And we'll kind of look at the landscape here together. One of the things that's glaring, and I'm not going to go through them in actual order here, but one of the things y'all are all probably going, what is going on with the government shutdown? Because as we know, that's still taking place. So we are going to see some interesting things with that. USAC is still open. So anyone who's really concerned about some of their invoicing, that they are actually working inside their USAC portal for the E-rate program, USAC is open, but however, if there are any further reviews that have to happen on a PIA review, that's the Program Integrity Assurance process, the review process of all your invoices, that is actually going to be on hold if the FCC has to make any kind of critical decisions. Fortunately, before the government shutdown, we got the eligible services list that's out for everyone to review. Now, remember, this is the draft form. Very typical that we will not get the actual finalized ESL, probably not until November, December. We've even seen it as late as early January, around the time that they set the 471 filing window. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there and take that one off the table right away about what's going on with the government shutdown. So, but you can still go into the portal, you can still enter your invoices, and if everything is done appropriately and correct, and your paperwork's right, including the applicant, which is the school or library, you should be fine for things to continue being processed. One of the other things here that I wanted to note, it's 89, some people are saying 90% of all the funding commitments have happened from a wave perspective. If you are part of the E-rate program today, just so let everybody know, that's the funding that goes out when one of your opportunities that you've won, a 471 from early past of this year for the 2025 E-rate season. Those funding commitment letters are at that 90% rate. I heard the numbers, really the total dollar amount is around 70%. Typically, as you know, anytime a firewall is on your E-rate win, it's going to have a little bit further, it has to go along the process a little bit longer, right? That PIA review is very stringent because they're looking at a firewall because they're not 100% eligible. There's some parts and components, as you know, that are, and anyone out there that does participate with the program, do realize that we on our end, myself and SonicWall, work very closely together to make sure the eligible services list is very accurate. We actually file it with USAC every single year and multiple times throughout the year as changes are made. We also notify and let USAC know when we do have EOS or EOL. So all of that is being communicated, just so y'all know that we try to take care of that for y'all to let the PI reviewers know that. So some really important things to understand there. Now, some of you on this call do sell other products that may not be a SonicWall product for E-rate, especially if you're looking at category 1. One of the updates I wanted to kind of just give y'all that's anecdotal is that the Wi-Fi hotspots and for the buses and hotspots altogether have now been actually removed from the program. So that did officially go through. So any of y'all that were wondering that. There are going to be some interesting updates happening in category 2. So I want to kind of jump to one of the items here that's the eligible service list, and let's transfer to that. And because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there going, what is going on? So it's been recommended that they clarify the difference between BMIC, which is the basic maintenance of internal connections, and also for MIBs, managed internal broadband services. Those have had these weird gray areas where a lot of times everybody doesn't understand it. And I know that you are someone out there, because I've talked to so many of the partners that have had a applicant or the consultant for the school or library that has filed the software warranty and licenses, or some of the software licenses, inappropriately under the wrong category, rather than should be BMIC, and they may have put it under MIBS. And you know that that's a challenge, because every year you have to go back and ask for funding for managed services. So what they're doing to avoid someone out there like you may have had a 3-year license that you sold under the ERATE program, got filed under the wrong category, or the services of the program like IC, BMIC, or MIBS. That means you didn't get your one-time payout, and it actually put you into a 12-month cycle of having to every month file for reimbursement. So that is what they're doing. So it has been suggested, and I think this is very good that they're doing this. And as y'all know, I've been a part of the program since its inception, first funding year 1998. So to see this happen, this clarification is going to be good for everyone on this call that participates under the E-rate program. That means software licenses will fall under IC. That will be very good for everyone getting your one-time payout and not getting in the confused world of MIBS. So it's going to be very good. It's going to make E-rate better. The really good thing that I want everybody to think about, and what we're going to talk about here, just a couple of slides, but is remembering that this is the first year of the 5-year budget cycle. Brand new money, you guys. Let's go get it. I think you are going to see a huge lift in a lot of the schools and libraries deciding, I need to do a network refresh. As you know, how technology cycles and changes so quickly, it's very important for these schools to get the latest and greatest. It's time they can upgrade into some of the managed services. They can also now get, larger firewalls. They have more components that are taken care of today, even though it doesn't fall under the E-rate program as we know it, or I call it the OG, original E-rate, because we know we had the cybersecurity pilot program. The endpoint protection, all that other stuff doesn't fall under basic firewall, which is in E-rate. However, you never know. They're doing the pilot program, so we'll see in a couple of years, and maybe they'll decide to move forward with all the other things that you need from a firewall perspective in the coming years. Don't look for that this year, because they just did the pilot program. So just remember, lots of money, lots of changes, lots of good stuff that's going to happen for E-rate the first year refresh of everyone's networks. We're going to see a lot of that. Another thing for y'all to keep in mind too is the cybersecurity pilot program. A lot of y'all probably applied for some of that opportunity and won. Remember, it was only $200 million. It was a small little program. A lot of money got asked for. We do not even have a 471 data sheet that normally we can go and see who filed for what, who won the business. It's not out yet. We're all looking for that. As soon as we know that we have that, we'll try and find a way to make sure everybody's notified that. The reason why that's important, it's always good to know, if you participate in that program, how much someone won at, so that when you're looking at managed services and other things you can offer outside of the basic E-rate offerings to schools, that's something you can actually help them with, and from a pricing perspective. Okay, and also we are about to have the administrative window open. Why is that important? So you're probably looking at here on the list and going, that's the applicants to go update their student count and to go update their contact information. Well, that's important, because then we will get a final on how much money every single school and library has in their first or their 5-year budget cycle, and how much they have to tap into in this first year. So that's really important for everyone out there. We do have internally, SonicWall, when I say we, I'm talking about myself and Compliment, we have provided to SonicWall, we call it hunting data. So if you hear one of your account managers or any of the leadership talking about the hunting data, that's really important for you guys to know that we have that data that is an estimated amount we think the schools and libraries are going to have this year. So that's really important information, because we are going to talk about some tips and tricks here in a minute, so I'll bring that up in a second. All right. So that being said, I think I covered everything there. Category 1, category 2, I'm not even going to spend any time on the slide, but I talked about 5-year budget cycle. This is the first year of the new budget cycle. Really, really important. I wanted to note that also we're going to see there's going to be a lot of changes here, because you're going to see a lot more of the managed services, even managed services from a firewall perspective. So we've had those for the last few years, but there's a lot more opportunity, I believe, that's coming for everyone this year. All right. Let's look at the seasonality of where we are and what's really important. As you know, the program starts every year, July 1, and then we're able to actually have a new cycle. So any money that's being bid for right now, so that's a 470 that's being put out there. It has 28 days that it is allowed to be open. Remember, schools and libraries can leave that open a lot longer if they need to. Sometimes if they're doing a bigger network refresh and they have multiple extra RFP documents besides just the 470, they're going to allow a little more time. But remember, it only has to be open for 28 days. That has been going on since July 1st. So if you haven't been dialed in because maybe you were distracted by the cybersecurity pilot program, now it's time to start paying attention. We are in October. This is go time. So this is the time where you need to be talking to your schools and libraries that you've worked with before. What are they going to do with their monies moving forward? This is a time before their 470 gets out on the street. You want to be working with your schools, talking to new schools as well, because you can do sales demonstrations. You can do on-site with them. You can talk to them about all the wonderful things that y'all can do for them, and also a health check, because I know that's something you can do with SonicWall. So very important for you to be talking to them now.
Miss Holly,
Yep.
on at this point in the program, right, pre 470 being filed, right, one thing that I think we can do a better job helping educate our partners on is the fact that the SonicWall ERATE program, if you are working and going to pursue new business with a school or library and you're engaged and you're carrying the SonicWall banner, we can help you with those conversations, obviously, but you also have the ability to deal reg those opportunities so long as the 470 hasn't been filed, which is important. And just to get it out there, as far as the SonicWall program, deal reg is going to give you your additional 10 points on your partner discount. For all E-rate wins, right, when you're building your pricing, it is your partner tier plus 5%. So there's an advantage to doing the deal reg. The other program that we want to make sure everyone's aware of is any non-SonicWall spec. So, no preference or competitive 470s that you want to bid on, you're going to get your partner tier plus 20 points on those. That's our tier plus 20. So I just wanted to get those out now. It seemed like a decent time.
Yeah, no, that was great. And I think, everybody take advantage of that. I'm going to talk about that a little more here in just a second with tips and tricks. We do not know what the 471 window is going to be. So y'all need to be paying attention to anything that we can get more information out to y'all as we're moving through the E-rate program. We will be communicative. I want everyone to know that we will get that date for the 471s when they allow them to start being filed. That's always in January. So we won't see any of that at this point in time. But remember, if you get awarded by a school that files now or is already filed and you've already been awarded, you've already been notified that you're going to be the winner of that opportunity. So that's something great to make sure your account managers know that you've won some business for them. And that's some things that we're going to also be helping everybody work very proactively and tracking for everyone to make sure when that 471 comes out, your name is on that opportunity because you won it. And then, as you know, we are right now in overlapping programs. So that means that 2025 is still closing out. You have a lot of opportunities that we know that you have not actually completed the process on the school or library purchasing their services, and also you need your invoicing to be done. So they overlap every year, y'all. So July 1, we start the new program. That doesn't mean you don't keep moving forward with what you won in 2025. So if you need any help with that, I know you can go to all your teams. Also, Brad Anderson, he's on this call as well. He is someone you can reach out to that is also going to be able to help you with invoicing. You have any problems there, you've got myself and you have Brad to help you with that, to make sure you get that deal in, and also you get paid, especially if it's a SPY deal. Bear, you should be paid. They're paying you and they're going to manage the invoicing on their end. All right. So with that, let's move forward into some tips and tricks. Okay, I did mention that I've been doing this program for a very long time. I've been a sales leader with a team who have overseen and managed this program in multiple organizations, and started my company almost 10 years ago. So I have been around this program, lived it for 28 years. So I know what works, what doesn't work. One of the things we talked about was hunting data. Remember, I said that earlier. Matt and his team and a lot of other individuals out there that are your account managers know that we have this data for you. As soon as we get the application window open and closed to where we get the actual solid dollar on how much every school and library is going to have, you're going to have a new refreshed hunting data, but we already have estimated data for you now. That's important for you when you want to start prospecting. You can talk to a school and library right now. So I highly recommend get ahead of the 470. I always say how important and critical that is. That will help you in your E-rate program when you're developing what you're going to do. Get your handful of schools that you really want to work with, start calling on them and helping them to know what they need to purchase, and help them also build what they're going to actually put in their 470. Remember, there are some very important critical things you cannot do. You cannot help a school or library write their 470. You can talk to them before their 470 comes out and they can kind of decide what they want to do, but you can't write it for them. So don't do that. This is government funding, and it's considered a felony if you would do some of the things that you're not allowed to do. All right. So the next thing that's really important to know here is build a template. I always tell everyone, when it starts getting to be really heavy E-rate season, that's your January timeframe. January, February, you've got so many coming at you, hundreds a day, thousands. You got lots of postings, lots of things that everybody wants and they need, the schools and libraries. To ease your burden, have your standard template that talks about who you are, already has your cover letter, has your SPIN number on there. Anything you want to talk about your product set, have that already built out. So all you have to do is put together the bill of materials, put that on there, and then you can easily turn out as many of these as you can. E-rate can be a numbers game if you're being an ambulance chaser, and you're an ambulance chaser when you're just waiting for 470 to post. Like Matt said, it's to your advantage to get ahead of the 470 so you can get deal reg, get greater margin, and win more of these opportunities. But if you're going to ambulance chase them, that means it's a numbers game. So the more you bid, the greater chance you're going to be able to win. Okay. Consortiums, these are like your PEPMs. These are your tips. These are all your other contract vehicles. As you know, a lot of the distribution that SonicWall works with has these contract vehicles for you. Sometimes you're going to see schools and libraries are going to actually utilize these contracts as a requirement for them to make a purchase or to do their E-rate, even though they're doing the 28-day, RFP process that's required. Just know that those are out there. So if you know you want to participate with SonicWall on their PEPM contract, let myself or your account manager know, and we'll make sure you get added to their contract so you can be a part of that. There are other great programs that we do in marketing alongside of some of these consortiums, and you want to be a part of that. The way you're a part of that is you have to be a member or a authorized partner service provider on SonicWall's contracts, okay? And or same with their distribution. All right. The other thing too is you can look at what a school purchased in previous years. We can actually help you with that data. So if you're struggling on deciding what to put in your bid, go ahead and contact your account manager, and of course they get a hold of me and or Brad, because what we're able to do is we can actually look into some intelligence and see how much they purchased before, the price point on that. So it's some really good data, and having that intelligence, that's a great tip and trick to help you go in better and win the opportunity. And then being a trusted advisor, again, making the relationships with everyone before the 470 comes out. And ask questions of your account manager. SonicWall's here to support you, okay? Anything else there? I think I've got a couple things. We're moving into how we power up with you guys with SonicWall.
Holly, we do have a question here from Lydia,
Sure.
just asking how do they get on the contracts? I think more high level.
Yeah. So the PEPM contract, it's a form you have to fill out and sign. It just says that you're agreeing to the terms and conditions of the contract. The TIPS contract, we have something similar. Super easy, super simple, you guys. Along with that, we give you some marketing material that you can co-brand. That'll be very helpful for you. As you can see here, that's part of this, like the co-branding that we can do with you. And we also, you can do some really great things. Once you get on these contracts with us, you can create your own in your own business, a K-12 landing page and or SLED landing page if you're doing state, local, higher ed, and K-12. You can use the logo. Once you're signed up as an authorized reseller, you get to use the logo, which gives you so much great credibility in working with anyone in government. Okay, so reach out to your account manager and they will get you with me and Brad, and we will work together to get you on those contracts and get you the documents you need. Okay.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate to the team, if you're a partner who hasn't really dabbled in E-rate too much, or maybe you have a little bit, but looking to refine your strategy, Holly's been an incredible resource. And, if you're wanting to do some account mapping and figure out where SonicWall is kind of winning in your area, would love to connect and kind of look at who you're going after and build out a good strategy together. So.
Yeah, and that's a great thing is that the SonicWall has to be here as a resource for you. So you can leverage that. And if y'all have more questions and want to have a call, we can all talk about that. The marketing tools you have already at your fingertips, there are quite a few of them inside of your portal, the partner portal, that have been written and designed for K-12. We'll actually be having a few more of those for y'all, not too far out in the future. And also I know that they are looking, SonicWall is looking for anyone who wants to bring along a case study. So why not highlight your business and let some of that opportunity for them to shine the light on you guys and your organization through a case study. So I'd get with your local marketing team at SonicWall and they would be happy to work with you on a case study. And again, really important, we want to help you close out your 2025. We're close to getting all the 471s actually into a funding commitment decision letter. The FCDL is that next step. So let us help you. Do not lose an opportunity to getting denied. The reason they get denied 9 times out of 10 is because it's a firewall and someone did not put the proper eligibility on it. So think about eligibility in a firewall as a pie. And there's slices of the pie that are different components that are built into a firewall. We can help you with that. And we have the eligibility services list. We just updated it. So now it has all the Gen 8 on it. Come to us. We will help you if you get a PI or reviewer that is for some reason denying your opportunity to get it through. So use us as a resource, myself, Brad Anderson. We will help you get those through and process. Also, if ones are they're kind of in limbo because the PIA or reviewer is asking questions, pull us on. It usually, and believe it or not, I write a letter that talks about why the eligibility that we have applied to that SKU is what it is, and it gets through right away. So make sure y'all leverage us for that, and we'll make sure that you get taken care of. I think that is it from my end. Are there any other questions? Yep.
I think so. Holly, what's the best way? I mean, obviously leveraging their account manager, but is it just reaching out to you direct or you want that coming through Brad? What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
I think, leverage Brad. But, if for some reason y'all can also copy me on it because I can also watch and just see if, Brad and I can help tag team to make sure everybody's getting taken care of. But we want everyone to be successful here and really have a very strong opportunities this year. And I think y'all are going to see this is going to be a big E-rate season because year one, all new money.
Love that. Yep, that's great. And again, we're happy to help team facilitate. If you guys have E-rate questions, obviously it can be complex and not all of our account managers are E-rate experts, but Holly and Brad absolutely are, and they're happy to hop on with you. So if you have something, send it our way. Happy to connect you with the right resources.
Absolutely. And just another outlet for communication, myself, Austin, JT. If you don't know who your account manager is, you could also hit the sales@sonicwall.com. Want to hear from you. A lot of stuff to navigate, especially with E-rate and sled business. So we're here to support you. Yeah, we'll throw Brad's email in the chat here as well. Got that done. So yeah, I think that's all we had today. In 45, couple extra minutes for y'all. Thank you all for joining. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again, Holly.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye, y'all.